Tell me. But we're gonna keep. I'm gonna keep my eyeballs on this while Jason goes on his spiel about
Yeah,
Israel.
yeah, we've done so many intros, dude. Um, say
Yep.
Israel?
Yeah. Joking.
Not Israel. I'd love to, but that's not the topic today. A lot of you guys were a little upset with some of the things that we said and that I started the conversation with about how, I was talking about how Venezuela is failing because of socialism. And a lot of you guys were like, no, it's the sanctions that the US implemented. That's just not true.
Episode 2. There's already a controversy.
Yeah, episode 2. Great.
Guys, I'm sorry. Guys, I'm so sorry. It's just I've been under a lot of pressure. There's coke on your nose.
Yeah, a little powder right here.
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, this is my 12th one of the night.
Mm. But yeah, Venezuela. We're having problems with them.
Listen, well, yeah, we're having small problems, but my problem is that people think that the United States sanctioning them is why they're such a failure. That's not true at all. You must be a fool to think that. Hugo Chavez immediately started mass nationalization, starting with agriculture, stole 12.4 million acres of land from private companies, people in general.
Mhm.
Like, starts off like that. That's terrible. Hires too many people. The government doesn't have the capacity to run thousands of businesses. They want to help the people, so they're like, "Oh, well, we're gonna hire more people and we're gonna pay them more money." Doesn't work. They can't afford that. Starts rising inflation. That's not a good thing, obviously. But they were like, "Oh, you know what? We're gonna do this with water. We're gonna do this with electricity. We're gonna do this with banks. We're gonna do this with construction, supermarkets, so on and so forth." That's not a good thing. They keep hiring too many people, spending too much money that they can't afford. Inflation is going up like crazy, not helping the people. Now there's blackouts happening that are multiple days long. Now there's issues with the water supply. Now there's issues with groceries in general. Days at a time, just like no help with water issues, days at a time without basic goods from grocery stores. Um, Basically stripped all the private business too. You have no private business now. Oops. Oh well. Number one issue
Mhm.
starts with that. Then there's the currency exchange that they create with the US dollar, complete failure. It
It just doesn't. It just doesn't end.
it doesn't work, dude. It does not work. The currency exchange completely ruins. It makes the inflation go up so much higher. The US dollar becomes more sought after than the supply itself. So now inflation is going up even more, and now they have to print more money. They have to print more money to try to combat with the debt that they're creating. Black markets are made. Corruption really starts to go rampant. Um, the welfare programs. Welfare is basically taking the people that actually pay taxes money and just giving it to other people. And the welfare went rampant. The welfare went completely rampant, and we're just giving this money to them. And obviously, historically, like all welfare has a shit ton of corruption. A shit ton of corruption.
Well, we know that in this country for sure. I mean,
Now,
the
the
endless.
sanctions cost Venezuela around $11 billion. Venezuela is in about $50 million or $1 billion of debt. We also gave Venezuela back $2 billion. So yeah, maybe 9 billion. It's on the United States. It's on the United States. All right, it's on us. But when your agricultural uh proceeds and whatnot, when the production goes down 75%, when your oil from 1999 10x's itself in 2008 from 1999, It's like, does this have to do with sanctions? No, this doesn't. It has to do with like your socialism. It has to do with fucking Hugo Chavez ruining the place and creating hyperinflation. The inflation is up over like 1,000,000%. You can't blame the small percentage of money that was taken from them from sanctions when there's like such a bigger percentage that doesn't come from that. It makes absolutely no sense. And you know what's funny too is, I feel like a lot of people that maybe commented that, it might be because maybe they are from Venezuela. And another thing that Maduro does is if there's any sort of media that combats his ideas, combats what he believes in and says and whatnot, he shuts it down.
Well, I was gonna say,
He
like,
shuts it down completely.
if you didn't know, Maduro was Hugo Chavez's like number 2, like his VP.
Yeah.
And then when
Of
Hugo
course.
Chavez died, he took over, and this is when all the problems kind of started. Hugo Chavez was like your classic socialist leader, like someone like Fidel Castro or something like that.
hmm
He revolutionized the country. He was kind of like one of these people where like 15 years ago people were talking about Venezuela and saying, look at this system that works. uh you know he could be compared, Hugo Chavez could be compared to someone like Zoran, who's running in New York right now. If he gets elected and if it's working for a little bit, they're going to be like, hey, check this out, see, it's working. And if it works, kudos to him. But if it doesn't work in a few years, which that's my suspicion,
Yeah.
then it's going to be like, oh yeah, I told you so. Which, I mean, I think that's probably what's going to happen. But
I mean, dude,
he
yeah.
dies, and this guy takes over, and then they try to have a fair election, and when it doesn't go his way, that's when the president-elect of Venezuela flees to our country. He was actually in one of Trump's first or second State of the Unions as like one of those guys, like the presidents. You ever watch the State of the Union? Like, he's like, he'll do one of these things where he's like talking, because the State of the Union is, right? Like,
Yeah.
he's talking to the whole
course.
Congress, and the Supreme Court is there, and the generals, and he's like pointing up to the rafters, and he's like, oh, that's the little boy with one leg, stand up, little boy.
Yeah.
So he did that. He was there for that, for like one of Trump's little things, and he obviously never got to be president, this guy, because Maduro's still running the country. It's a military coup. It's basically a military dictatorship now. And the problems that we're having right now with Venezuela is that we want that oil, like the Dave Chappelle sketch, that Earl.
Yeah.
What you cooking? What you cooking?
Well,
What you talking about oil?
let me say real quick too. There was some people that's like, oh, in the comments as well. They're like, oh, this is what America does. They take these other countries' oil. They steal our oil. And they were saying that because of what I said.
Mhm.
And I never said I want to steal your oil. Your country is failing. 75% of you are considered super poor, way below the national mark.
That's why they're
I
all
said
walking
we should go in there, create new allies, help you with the production rates, and then in return take some back. That way everyone's happy. Everyone's happy. But there's these people that still believe that socialism works and whatnot, and they take what you say and they twist it, and they're like, "Oh, well, you're just trying to steal our oil. This is what America does. They steal oil. Oh, these capitalists. Oh, they steal
Well,
oil."
I love my country, but that's what we do.
I mean, in a lot of cases, but that's not what I said we should do.
No, I know. But I'm saying, I love America, but I'm like, that's what we do, bro.
Yeah.
Off topic, when Hugo Chavez, there's this great famous clip that everyone should look up, which is, it's very much off topic, but it's a very interesting kind of like visual portrait of like how I think Venezuelans, or maybe definitely Venezuelan politicians, think about America. So it's the UN, right? George W. Bush, Bush 2, is done speaking, right? The UN, and he walks off. Hugo Chavez walks up to the podium, right? And he just sign the cross. Is very like most Spanish, Southern or South American nations, very Catholic man. And he's saying in Spanish how he smells sulfur. George W. Bush is just up there. He smells sulfur. He's basically calling George W. Bush the devil incarnate. All right. I always thought that was so interesting. I'm like, this is how these other countries look at the American president. It's like, that's the devil incarnate. This is a man who's going to come down to my country or go over to the Middle East or go wherever there's oil and just take it and just grab it and I mean, this is what every This is what every major nation has done for hundreds and hundreds of years: is invade a country that they want their resources and occupy them to some degree, and that's what we're doing right this second with this country in our own hemisphere.
Yeah.
And that's what makes this conflict so interesting right now. And it's not a conflict, but it is. But it's not, but it is, because we have our ships there. We have our ships there.
30% of our military is there right
And
now.
now we're
in the
talking about
Caribbean.
a ground invasion.
Yeah.
They slipped that in this week. Look, we might put some boots on the ground. And then
we might put some boots on the ground.
and then Trump's going, and they're selling us fentanyl, which is not true. Our own DEA is like, there's no fentanyl there. The fentanyl's in Mexico.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. It's weird. You read about the ships and the strikes on the ships and whatnot, and it's like you read that, oh, well, there was residue on like what was left of the ship.
Okay, like
And
it's in
then
the middle of what?
Then you go on Twitter, and Twitter's like, oh, there was literally no proof at all that this ship, like this ship might have just been a couple, like a fishing boat.
Well, that's what's crazy is like just like residue on a blown up ship. It's like weapons of mass destruction from the 2000s. It's like, all right.
It's like finding the passport on 9/11,
Yeah.
Perfectly unscathed.
It's like it's like imagine if one of us got into a drunk, like this has happened. Like, have you ever heard of this story? So one of us is like driving. We're driving our Ford F-150, and we're just like, we blow ourselves up, and they take a beer bottle and they're like throw it on the ground, like, see, drunk driving. But literally like shot out our tires, shot us in the head, blew up the whole car. Body destroyed, no remains left. There's no body. The thing blew up. It's a flame, and he burnt his whole body. And then they threw a couple of these on the ground.
Yeah,
he was a drunk driver.
Yeah.
Not our fault.
Yeah, not our
drugs. Hey, they're bringing drugs to Miami. It's not our fault. It's a kind of fishing boat. He's like trying to. He's trying to catch
He's so poor.
He's trying to sell fish in a country that has no food. And it's like America. Again, I voted for Trump. And I want to see an America first policy, but I do not see it at all ever. And we're just so okay with blowing up just random dudes on a boat, blowing them up, and it's like, and it's like it's great that
they're pushing. See, I do feel like Venezuela needs some sort of regime change, but I don't think it should be forced upon them by us. I don't think it should be what they're doing is not working. Pretty obviously, what they're doing is not working. But I don't think us sending troops in, bombing their people, forcing them to do what we want, is a good thing.
Yeah,
that's not right. That's wrong. This brings back to what I was saying too, where it's I don't want to steal their oil. I want to cut a deal with them. I think it would be smart if we cut a deal with them so that we can help them actually be productive when it comes to their oil. And then in return, we just take some oil.
Of course. Yeah, they can sell it to us.
Yeah, it's a deal. It's a deal. I don't want to steal their oil. Even if historically that's what America does. I don't want to do that. I don't want to steal their oil. I don't want to force them into regime change. I just want things to be better. And I feel like we could help them. They could help us. We have another ally now.
Yeah, it'd be good, but
it'd be good, but instead, we're putting 30% of our military in the Caribbean, and we're bombing their ships, saying that they're drug trafficking ships
with no proof,
with not really any proof. The proof is basically that it says on Fox News or whatever. Oh yeah, there was residue on the ship that we blew to pieces. Oh, and we killed 4 people too in the meantime.
We don't know who they are either.
Yeah,
it could be literally 4 dudes who are completely illiterate and they're fishing.
Yeah,
and that's all they know how to do.
Yeah,
is fish.
And we're commercial fishermen.
Yeah,
we're catching fish.
Yeah, and then Trump is like, he goes on TV and he's like, yeah, they got 5 engines on a boat. You don't need 5 engines to fish. I'm like, okay. I'm like, we fish. What do you need? What do you know about fishing, Trump?
Yeah, we fish by people who have boats. We don't have a boat with 5 engines, but we see a lot of boats with 5 engines.
There's people with all sorts of shit on their.
It's like $1 million, luxury fishing boat. There's a lot of boats with 5.
What if 3 of your engines go out out of 5? I'm just saying, like, you need the other three, right?
You don't need. You don't need. If you have 5 engines, and some of your engines went out, having the other engines would be necessary. But I'd say there's more boats with 1 engine than there is 5.
I don't know. I understand, but I'm just
What
like,
do you mean you don't know?
well, I'm just saying, I'm like, you know, it just to me like that makes sense. I'm like, all right, like, what if one messes up? I don't know. Like to me, I'm like,
If you have a big boat,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, we've seen boats with 4 like big like Yamaha 150s on the back and them outboards. Like you know what I mean? Like those like it's a giant fiberglass boat. If 2 of those motors go out, that's kind of fucked up. Like, how's that boat can even? I don't know. It doesn't really make any sense. But regardless, like, we're blowing crap up. Yeah, Trump deserves credit for ending, like, for now, the Israel Palestine
yeah,
conflict,
and like 8 other conflicts.
quote unquote. I think he's grabbing some credit. I think he's. That's what I think personally. I think he's like kind of like India Pakistan strip was like you had nothing to do with this, but like Pakistan's like I think like one of their ministers showed up and was like, "This man," the classic like I need something from Trump. This man is the greatest man. But imagine me with an Indian accent saying this. This man is the greatest man who's ever lived, and he deserves the Nobel Peace Prize.
This man is the greatest man who has ever lived.
The most generous president. Yeah, but it's just like one of those things where it's just yeah, you're ending one conflict, but you're getting us involved in another, and at the same time, I'm just again like I think majority of guys our age kind of voted for Trump to kind of disrupt the system here in this country.
Yeah.
Vote this. Yeah, I want to.
100%.
I want to see the president make peace. But at the same time, I'm like, I'd really, really, really like Trump to do something in this country and like really try to focus on helping us out with all of our problems here. I mean, like we have a system where like they're talking about like we were mentioning before we started like EBT and stuff like that. Like SNAP benefits are going to be affected this month because of the government shutdown. And to me, I don't care because I'm not on SNAP benefits. All right. And I know people are going to whine and complain and say, "Oh, but how about these poor families?" But I'm like, listen, I'm not going to explain why I have certain experience seeing this kind of crap, but I know for a fact that there's a good large chunk of these people that do not need nor do they deserve free food, free housing, free cash assistance, all this free shit that we just hand out every single year constantly to bums. And it's like, it makes me so mad that if you're basically a bum, this is the country for you. And I know bum is not a good word to use, like, oh, like, they're not bums, but there's a lot
They are bums.
it's like there's so many bums in this country, and the fact of the matter is that if you are a regular working guy or girl, and you went to school and you went to college and you paid off your loans and you're doing the right thing, you pay all your bills on time, you are the sucker. It's just the truth. If you're all the way up here and you're super rich, right? If you're super rich, if you're a CEO of Walmart, Target, if you are a giant hedge fund owner, you have the ear of the president. In this administration, at least for sure. You can talk to Trump and say, "Hey, can you pause the China tariffs for me?
Yeah.
I need to make $1 billion. I need to make an extra $1 billion.
Yeah, I need an
this
extra
week.
billion in the stock.
I need $1 billion this week. I need to do some shit and I need to take that money and go overseas."
Yeah.
So they don't care. They're like, whatever, government shutdown, doesn't matter. And if you're super poor, you don't care because you're not paying for shit anyway. You're not paying for shit anyway.
It's always the middle class.
It's always the middle class. You're getting bilked because that extra $1,000 a month, and like some like overeducated liberal, like we'll get to Zoran, but like some overeducated liberal, he's like, again, he has like some good ideas, but we'll get to him. He has his own problems.
Yeah.
He's obviously a smart guy.
Yeah.
But if you're this overeducated liberal, you're thinking, oh, an extra $1,000 a month to help poor people? You got that right. And it's like, no, I don't.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I don't have the extra $1,000 a month. And it just makes me so pissed because I'm like sitting here.
See, let me say this too. You were talking about bums, and you're like, oh, well, I don't want to, like call it that or whatever. No, it's true, because if you're homeless on the streets begging, you are not a bum. That man is not a bum. In some ways, logistically, maybe sure, yeah, they're a bum, but that guy or that woman is not a bum. That's someone that needs help. That's someone that really needs help. But when you're an able-bodied person, abusing the system, lying about how much money you make, or purposely not working, so you could have EBT, you could have your SNAP benefits and whatnot, you are a bum. You are the issue. And I'd say that the majority of the people that use it are that. The EBT, the SNAP benefits are supposed to help the guy on the streets. Because
Yeah.
maybe now they could find a home because they don't really pay for food. Maybe they could save up money, get some sort of job. If you're like disabled, if you're mentally disabled or physically, you get a little bit of a job, get a little money, you know. Now you could afford Section 8 housing. That's what it's supposed to be about. But what ends up happening is that the majority of the people that use it are abusing it. They're abusing it. They are either lying about their income or purposely not working because they're bums. Because they want the taxpayer money to pay for their shit. When they can go out and make that money themselves. Like, you could make minimum wage and work 30 hours a week. And that's it.
Mhm.
And then they abuse the system. They don't do that though. They're like, oh no, well, I can't do that. They're like, I have to make sure that I'm making under this amount of money, whatever it is. I think it's like 1,800 a month or something for like a lot of states
Yeah.
to get SNAP benefits. It's like I can't work more than what I'm doing now because then I'll be over that threshold, and now I can't put a bunch of money into my pocket, and I can't get my SNAP benefits and get free food, and fuck the middle class and fuck anybody that pays taxes. Um, if I make too much money, that's when you're a bum. That's what a bum really is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they get everything paid for them. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
they get everything.
That's a bum.
They get everything paid for them, and it's like, I know Instagram is not real life, blah blah blah. But the amount of shit I see online where it's like, okay, guys, no SNAP benefits this week, so I got to go to Costco, and it's like yeah. Listen, this sounds fucked up, but it's usually like a black girl or a Mexican girl that has her hair done and her nails done,
Yeah.
and they're going to Costco, and they're like, wow, this is expensive.
Yeah.
They never want to pull out their own wallet, and it's just like, this is why the country is like so fucked up, and like this is why all these immigrants want to come here, because they know we just give it all away, and we're just sitting here giving it
Yeah.
away constantly because like it's no one else's money, and
Yeah, no one else's money.
and like when I mean like Doge was kind of a disaster when Elon was there. Not gonna lie, I mean I really wish it was successful because like that was the actual first time ever. Right, and this was talked about and this is being talked about in the mayor's race for New York City as well. But it was the first time ever where we were like, yeah, the government has a lot of people working in it that are bloodsuckers, and they're sucking up a giant salary for pretty much doing nothing.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it's acknowledging all these people that are just grabbing with both hands all these resources that they don't need, and they're completely able-bodied people, but they're just born into a culture that allows them and enables them to just grab with both hands free food, free housing,
Yeah.
free cell phone, free everything, and you're just sitting there like, again, like you are a working class person, you're like, holy shit,
Dude, it's
why am
human
I sitting here
nature-
working?
It's human nature for these people to just like abuse the system.
Mhm.
And Mondami is you are much more educated on the whole New York City mayoral debate than I am, but I know a little bit.
Mhm.
And Mondami, when I first started looking at it, I was like, oh, Mondami's cool. He doesn't like Israel.
Well,
I
let me
like
let me
Israel.
say this. Let me say this.
I was
about
like, I
Mondami.
hate Israel, and Mondami hates Israel,
Right.
and I hate Netanyahu, and Mondami hates Netanyahu.
Right.
I was like, this is cool.
Right.
And then time went on, and he's got these policies that he said he's going to use. And my number one thing.
Let me just interrupt you before you get into it, just because I want to acknowledge that Mondami is probably like the most talented Democrat running in politics right now. Straight up, I don't know any other Democrat right now that's like has like this is I don't really like the word Riz, but he literally has like the most clout, the most Riz,
bro.
the most Riz. Yeah, Zoran he is like a young Obama basically. He's Obama 2008. Like buy early. This guy is gonna like if he was an American citizen, this guy would be fucking president one day. He would, straight up. because he's that good.
He might be a little too extreme for president.
No,
I
but
don't know.
he's there. Like, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
If he was pulling a Gavin Newsom, being like, I'm trying to be the middleman, then yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah,
Yeah, but it's
but
like
his policies right now are so extreme that
because
they don't let him
Gavin.
win presidency.
Well, because with Zoran, right before Zoran showed up, Gavin, like, cause it's almost like sports, right? It's almost like a football team. You're like looking at all the best players, right? Trump is obviously for 10. We've been living in the Trump era 10 years now of Republican. Donald Trump is number one. He's the number one Republican. Like he's the that is the model. That's going to be the model for 20 years. You're going to see it like Ronald Reagan back in the 80s. That's going to be the model for 20 years to become a Republican president. Is going to be the Trump model. Before Zoran, Gavin Newsom was like, I was like, okay, this is the slick Democrat version, right? He's like, looks like a Hollywood actor. He's a good public speaker. He's from the biggest state in the country, yada yada. But this guy, this is the triple A. This is like the perfect. This is the dude that you're gonna model your campaigns off of.
Yeah.
For now on.
Yeah.
For him, maybe it was like someone like Andrew Yang, if you remember him from back in like 2020.
Yeah.
But he's a slick politician, and like boomers like
He speaks well.
Yeah.
He speaks well. He knows how to get his people really want him.
Mhm.
Such a big thing. And again too, like I know it's kind of like the Fox News Republican thing to be pro-Israel, but I would say that the majority of if you're like under 35 and you're a Republican, you're probably still against Israel. You probably still understand that they created genocide towards Gaza. And I'm not pro-Gaza. I'm not like a pro-Palestinian either. But genocides, you can't do that. That's too much.
you can't
That's too
you
much.
can't
It's,
sit
it's,
there
it
and
goes against human rights. It's a terrible thing to do. We don't want genocide. We don't want deaths. Death is like so inevitable, not something that we should be causing towards innocent people, innocent children. And Israel was. And so like even though it's like Republican to be like, "Oh, I'm pro-Israel," I'd say at least 50%, but 100% of, or like most of the young Republicans are against Israel still. They were losing the online war when it comes to that. And that's the most powerful thing right now is like online. It's the online media. It's not the TV. It's not Fox or CNN. It's just general online media. And they were totally losing that. And
Well-
so, Mondami is so good at gaining people's attention because sometimes he says things that even like a young Republican or just some Republicans in general would be like, yeah, that's a good idea. That's nice. That's good. And he's got all the Democrats for the most part on their side. But then
Don't pay attention when I'm doing.
he's just got such extreme views when it comes to certain things. And he does things, he uses his following to basically abuse like racial motives and stuff like that. Like I'm sure you've heard his one policy is that he's going to I think it's tax whiter neighborhoods.
Oh, of
more,
course.
right? Now, I understand that he's explained that taxing a whiter neighborhood, he doesn't literally mean white, but it just happens to show because the statistics that the whiter neighborhoods are richer, they have more money, and we need to tax the rich more. There's no other politician or person in media that could say that besides him and get away with it without being called a racist. There's no one else. Why can't you just say we're going to tax the rich? You know why? Because it's Mondami saying it, and he knows that the majority of the people that are voting for him are against rich white people. They're against rich white people. So he's going to say it like that. Any other politician, even like Gavin Newsom could say it. And like he'd get way more hate for it than Mondami does.
I think
Mondami's so against Israel. He's got a lot of politicians, and he's just like he's got every Democratic's vote or Democrats vote that he's able to say things. And it's like, let's be realistic. If you're a liberal and you're watching this, tell me, is saying something like that racist?
Yes.
It's pretty easy to say. If you consider race as a part of who we should tax, That's extremely racist. But he could get away with it because, like you said, he's the best Democrat that there is right now.
Well, he just has the best. He understands online media. He understands TikTok. He's obviously like a 30. I think he's like 33 or 34. He's like super young. Um, and again, like he knows he can say something like that and get away with it because he's in a party right now, or he's in a or in a time right now where he knows he can say, hey, I can get away with saying let's tax richer, whiter neighborhoods, but because to like a college educated liberal or a student at NYU that's registered to vote, like they're not gonna care that you say white neighborhood. They're like, good, sounds good.
Young people especially don't care if you say white, you know, black. A lot of them.
He's also just got
they don't care. We're past this whole
Yeah.
race thing. We're past the whole race thing.
He's also just got the simple cool factor, all right? I mean, like, I like Curtis Sliwa. I do. I like a guy who's like very serious. Again, he's kooky. He's literally kooky. Like, this guy's cool. I like him, but he's kooky. He ran last time against Eric Adams, my favorite mayor. I gotta say. That guy, he's the most blatantly corrupt politician I've ever seen, ever. And he's just straight up stupid. It's just hilarious.
That's your favorite. That's your boy.
Well, I just love it. Like,
That's your boy.
I just love it. I'm just like, this is amazing, and it's it's not a race thing or anything like that, but it's like it's just amazing. I'm like, this is unbelievable. Like, this is the mayor of the biggest city in the country, and this guy is like saying just the most unbelievable stuff, and he's in the beginning of his term, I think the first year of his term, people were like spotting him out at 4 a.m. and at nightclubs, like with. You're just like, and I told you the video I showed you where it's like him getting ready. He's like getting ready.
Yeah.
He's like, it's like 8 a.m. He's like flipping his egg. He's ironing his shirt, and it's like people are like pointing on the background. It's like, dude, that says 11:30. And
I think that's who would be like, yeah, normally, I go to the barber shop.
Yeah,
and I smoke a cigar.
Yeah, what was the quote? It was great. It was so good. He's like, yeah, most nights you find me at a closed barber shop with a glass of Henny and a cigar. I'm like, that's who I want. Yeah, it's a yeah. The next day you're getting up, getting ready for work to help. No, you're not. You're not for anybody. And then again, he's taking like money from other countries. Like he's like doing all this other crap, and you're just like. He's just like so blatantly corrupt. And Sliwa ran against him last time and obviously lost. Like I think Giuliani was the last Republican mayor of New York City. But yeah, I mean it's a three-way race, and I get it. I get why he's leading. Like Boomer, Fox News Boomer. They're like, I don't get it. He's a socialist. He's a communist. I don't understand how stupid he's. I'm like, listen. They're not going to vote a Republican. It's just not going to happen. Like, he's too kooky. I mean, maybe. You never know. Hey, crazier things have happened. And the other guy he's running against, his main other opponent is Cuomo, who, if you don't know, Cuomo was obviously governor for 11 years of New York State.
Yeah.
His father was governor for, I think, 8. Mario Cuomo. And he was governor for all this time, and they talked about him in 2020 like, he should be president. Instead of Joe Biden, this should be the president. They like floated that idea a little bit. And then about like a year later, it comes out that like 4 women in his office are like, yeah, he comes up behind me, grows my ass, grows my tits.
Squeeze up on my shit,
And he's like, guys, I'm Italian. Stupid. And then instead of, because he's innocent, this is what innocent people do. He's innocent, right? And the innocent governor resigns the governorship, leaves, and then he's like, "Well, now I want to be the mayor of New York. I want to get back into it, Because I'm single, I'm divorced." He's like,
there's such a small chance that he becomes the mayor of New York City. Like, it's so little. People don't like the guy.
But what's so interesting about him is that like the big money likes him. The same people that donate to Trump build.
Well, yeah, because he's a boomer politician, bro. They all suck each other off.
Yeah,
man.
It's a machine. It's a machine.
It's literally a machine. Yeah, and it's like that guy is not winning. That guy is not gonna win.
But it's like it's almost good because it's like, again, I'm not like crazy about policies. I'm not crazy about like city-run grocery stores, which is like I'm not crazy about freezing rent. I mean, like I get it. I get the rent is high, and
well, that's just the issue with socialism. That's literally what Venezuela is going through, where it's like, oh, okay, well, we're gonna we're gonna make everything cheap. They put like a cap after the nationalization of basically every necessary business, right? So the government already owns everything.
Mhm.
Um, they put a cap on the on a lot of basic needs, and that really fucked up the inflation. That really fucked up the inflation because they put the cap. Any private business that was still standing somehow could
Mhm.
not compete went in the garbage.
Right.
And then they put this cap and they can't afford anything. They can't afford to keep doing this. They're paying too many workers.
Mhm.
They're paying too many it's like if you freeze rent, now the people who own the property, they can't afford to do this. And then if you may have government run supermarkets and they have caps on the groceries and whatnot,
Right.
that not only destroys the private business, but if it's lower than what it is um, when they first did it, you can't combat inflation like that because that just basically turns into a money printing machine. You're just
Yeah.
printing money now because you have to deal with the debt, and that rises inflation.
Yeah.
That's basically like the recipe. Oh, like socialism is basically a recipe to how can I speed run hyperinflation? How can I speed run it?
Well, yeah, that's
It's like
yeah.
I'm playing Mario Galaxy. How can I speed run Mario Galaxy? How can I speed run hyperinflation and fuck everyone that lives here? Oh yeah, like it's what it is, dude.
No, it's true. And in like New York State,
You got to
like
be stupid not to think that, man. It pisses me off. Like you got to be so uneducated
right.
on the topic. Because it's like, yeah, like socialism on paper, sure it works. They never do it right. It's just like communism. It's just like communism. I remember when I went to high school, my social studies teachers used to say, communism on paper looks great, but it never works.
Well, it goes against
Socialism is the same thing, and I'm not going to say that they're the same thing because I feel like that's dangerous and that's not true.
mm,
But I'm going to say the fact that it looks good on paper, yeah, sure, it makes sense, but it goes against human nature and it just doesn't work.
I was gonna say it literally goes against human nature because it's like, human nature is naturally where I work. I put so much in, I should get so much output. Right. Like
Yeah.
like say you're a farmer, I worked really hard. I planted 1,000 crops. You only planted 100. Should we get the same amount? No.
No.
I worked
No.
I worked day and night. You worked one day this week.
Yeah.
Do we deserve the same amount? Do we deserve the same outcome?
Not
It's
even
like if you
close.
studied really hard and you got like a master's degree, a PhD, like all this crap, like should you get the more prestigious job? Probably not. You worked harder to like climb the ranks essentially.
Yeah.
Or if you had more experience in that way. But again, this is the problem, like, and these people like, same with Cuomo and like Zoran are on the same page where they're gonna like raise taxes, they're gonna like try to finagle with like the because again, like New York City is still in New York State, right? So like the state government and the Fed still have to give them money,
Yeah.
right? So say Zoran, which is this is probably most likely, Zoran will probably become the mayor of New York City, which is fine, like that's what people want. He's winning, so he should win. Um, so now he has to deal with the governor, all right, like, and he has to deal with Trump. And what is Trump doing right now? Trump is sending National Guard, like, which I do support because we live in a country where we in all the major cities we hardly enforce the law. It hardly happens,
Yeah.
and I don't care. I honestly don't care. People, oh my civil. I'm like break the law, so I don't really care about uh uh,
Yeah,
National Guard showing up.
if you're not a law breaking person, you really shouldn't care.
Yeah,
They're not going to do anything to you.
yeah. And it's like if ICE shows up, it's like, oh, like because people make this argument online. Oh, well, they're supporting the National Guard's there to help ICE. I'm like, I don't really care either because I'm not an illegal immigrant, and like, what are they gonna like? Again, I work. All full disclosure, I work in an office. What are they gonna do? Bust in my office and start fucking ransacking the place? Probably not.
Yeah.
So again, like,
Right.
I know it sounds selfish, but it doesn't really affect my life, and like, I really only care about like it does affect people's lives, like people who are normal people, quality of life stuff like this. Normal people who are law-abiding citizens are like, yeah, I would like the law to be enforced. I don't want that criminal back on my neighborhood block
Yeah.
because he busted in a store, broke in, punched some lady or punched some guy and stole something, and then he's out the next day because the jail is full, there's no cash bail, and all this crap is happening. It's like, no, like send them in and let the federal government
Yeah, and
do it. Let them
you
do
can
it.
get away with violent crime like 19 times, and you don't go to jail until you kill somebody.
That's what happened to that Ukrainian chick. The dude was like a
And that's what
multi.
happened to a lot of people
Yeah,
at this point.
yeah. It's not just her. There's multiple victims, but that dude was a multiple time offender of violent crimes, and like we just kept letting him back out. And that's a case that's just one case. That's just
Yeah.
one.
I read something today where it was like if we had a three strike system for violent crime, half of the violent crime in the United States would be gone.
Well, the problem is that because you didn't watch I watched two of the debates in New York. This is like I
Right,
100%
yeah.
agree with you on the strike three strike system, but it used to be in New York that uh that if you were 16 and committed a violent crime, you were tried as an adult. Right. They got rid of that. They got rid of
Okay.
it. Obviously, Zoran and I think Cuomo are for trying to keep it 18 now, right? So now if you have a gun charge that's 16 or 17, you're good. You're good. You're going to be tried as a juvenile, right? Versus an adult, which is completely bullshit. Right? What's the what? Like you're in 2 years going to clean up your act or something like that? It's like it makes no sense. It's such crap.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like the whole juvenile versus adult thing,
Yeah.
it's a hard subject to talk about because there is factors that are in play that
Right.
make it where it's like, oh, well, should we charge him as an adult? He's not fully developed and whatnot. But
Right.
also, there's factors that are used in play now that really shouldn't be. If I'm 15 and I take a gun and I kill somebody,
Right.
I promise you the average 15-year-old knows I should not be killing somebody with a
Right.
weapon.
Of course.
I should not injure somebody. It's illegal and it's wrong. It's just justice, man. It's like we don't our justice system is not correct. It's wrong. Our justice system obviously doesn't work.
That's why I don't care about like all these people.
And it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't care too where it's like, people complain, oh, ICE is ripping apart families and whatnot. And it's like, well, that's bad. Because that's like human justice in a sense, where it's like, well, we shouldn't be ripping families apart. But also, these people come here knowing that. They know that, oh, if I get caught and I'm with my family and I only get caught or whatever, I'm going to be sent away. I'm going to go to prison. I'm going to be sent back, whatever's going on. They know that. If you break the law, you get separated from your family. If I'm driving drunk and I got my two kids in the back seat
That's a good point.
and I get into an accident or I just get pulled over because I'm swerving or whatever, I'm getting separated from my family.
Yeah, you still broke the law regardless.
I broke the law regardless. Now, there's the argument that, oh, well, they shouldn't get separated from their family besides like their small sentencing or whatever it is that they have to do if they have to go back to the station. They shouldn't get sent back. It's like, sure, maybe, but a lot of the people that say that wouldn't agree with the factor where it's like, all right, well, we need to make this worth it because illegal immigration makes things so much more expensive. There's like 25 million of them in the country.
Yeah.
It makes things more expensive for the legal person here. It makes our
course.
taxes go up. They don't pay taxes. A lot of them are violent. It makes us pay in so many different ways. And it's like, all right, well, let's make it worth it for us. If we're not going to send them back, let's make it worth it. Let's make them pay very large fines for it over time. And it's like, oh, like it doesn't have to be right now. The money is right here, right now, because if they're illegal, they probably don't have all the money to pay a very large fine. But let's make them pay it if we're not going to throw them in jail. How about that? But a lot of those people won't agree with that. There's
Right.
so many other things too. Let's make them do massive amounts of community service.
Well, you know what I always felt, and this is like a idea I'm sure there's other people that have come up with this. I don't think this is particularly an original thought, but I was like you know this, like I was always into politics when I was in high school
Yeah.
and stuff like that. We went to
Yeah.
high school together. Um and me and this classmate of mine, this girl, we had to create a mock bill, like a fake bill for like government class, right? Like I think senior year of high school or junior year. I don't really remember, but basically we decided we were going to tackle immigration, right?
Yeah.
And we called it the pay to play bill.
Okay.
And so basically, if you come into the country, right, this is before kind of like I think the idea of a border wall or anything like that. You come into the country and you're here working, and you're a green card holder or something like that, and you want to become a citizen, right? So you pay taxes for 5 years straight, right? Right, and it could be even could be a higher rate of taxes, right? Yeah, maybe this is a way for the government to make money, but you pay 5 years straight of taxes, right? Every single year you file a tax return for 5 years straight. And then after that 5 years, you are a citizen. Right? You've been here in this country. You're established. You're maybe you have an apartment or you're a homeowner or something like that. You are now an American citizen because you've paid 5 years of income tax. And again, it could this is just my thought. It could be a higher rate. Why not? Why not give it? Why not have a different tax status or tax percentage for immigrants that show up? Right.
Yeah.
We have the greatest economy in the world. We have the
Illegals are legal.
Regardless, illegal or legal, like
Okay.
a legal
Okay.
a green card holder. I was thinking,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Or like, whatever. Like first, if you're an illegal immigrant, like the first step is getting your green card.
Yeah.
Okay, that's like the first step, and then you can kind of, and then maybe there's a probationary period or something like that. But this is just a speculation, pitball kind of idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, like basically you for 5 years straight, 5 years, right? You're working, you're not getting any benefits from the government. Like this is again, it goes back to our SNAP bullshit, right? You're a working person. Like say if you're like many Mexicans are laborers, right? Say if you're a landscaper guy and you're one of these guys, but you're telling your boss like even if you're getting paid cash or something like that, you're still paying taxes on that. Um some kind of way. You're getting a paycheck, right? You're paying taxes. And for 5 years, you have a tax return. And for those 5 years after that, you are a citizen. You're a naturalized citizen because you've paid to play. We're the biggest economy in the world. We offer the most opportunities for everyone around the world, right? Everyone wants to come here and work.
Yeah.
And to me, like that makes the most sense. Like that would be the most natural way to citizenship. Like, okay, you want to be here, you want to stay in America, you want to have you had a baby here, you have a naturalized American citizen, like son or daughter, then this is what you have to do.
Yeah.
There's not like I don't know any other way for like a serious path to citizenship that makes sense in my head. Where it's like, what? You're gonna make the guy miss work every day to go fill out forms at a courthouse? Like that's stupid. That's dumb.
Yeah.
Or just make them all citizens? Like that's dumb as well.
Well, I was gonna say, the whole green card thing, that makes sense. I think the numbers should be pretty up. Should be pretty up with the taxes you pay.
Again, like why not have a higher tax rate for a green card? Like
Yeah,
I
I
don't.
think that's true. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
Uh, my biggest issue is more with illegals. If if we're not gonna send illegals back, we need to make it so that they are going to pay greatly for being illegal here.
Yeah, you can find them.
It's got to be because if it's not a great pay, if they're not paying greatly for being being an illegal citizen, that's just going to encourage more illegal people to come here.
Hey, listen.
You know what I'm saying? Where
Yeah.
it's like as of right now, the way we have it is like if you're illegal and you get caught being an illegal, you get sent back. That's pretty devastating. We need something almost equally as devastating, so that way we're not encouraging more illegal immigration.
Why not like something like a $5,000 fine? Like that's what I was. That's just the first. Again, just speculating.
It's like I'd say it should be more personally, but
All right, $10,000.
yeah, no, like $10,000, $15,000, even
All right.
20,000. I mean, you
And
got
again,
there's
you
these
can.
people that do these crimes and then they get out on their bail.
But you have to think.
Like
This is what I always thought like was so inefficient. I'm like, okay, so we got the guy, right? Like ICE gets the guy. We're paying all these ICE agents, right? These like
yeah,
guys. Again, it's just like a bad. Trump is like Trump. It's smart. Work like again. Even we'll get to like the him redoing the east wing of the White House because he was trying to hide all that. He was like he was trying to find a way to find people taking videos. Like people were going to take videos and post them anyway. The destruction of the east wing
yeah,
of the White House.
It's
But
just stupid.
he knows how it doesn't look great. I mean, again, it looks good. Fox News boomers love it because they're like, I don't know, they've got like this weird authoritarian kick where they love to see like mass dudes like grabbing People, yeah, I
Yeah,
got you. I got, and they're holding them down, and it's like,
yeah.
again, that's just like a total boomer kind of fantasy.
Well, they love the fascist aspect of it.
Well, they kind of like
Where
it.
they're like, yeah, like you don't agree with me?
Fuck you.
Fuck you. I'm gonna do. Yeah. Exactly.
And it's like they kind of get a kick out of that. But I'm like, in my head, if I was Trump, I'm like, damn, like these are my guys. Like they're fat, masked up white dudes, or just masked up people. Doesn't have to be fat, but masked up police officers in general. I'm like, this isn't look great. Like it's not a good look.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, I don't know how Obama was doing it, but
I don't think he was having. I don't think the ICE agents were masked in Obama.
yeah, no, I don't know the way Obama did it. Like, and I'm not the biggest Obama fan. He
No.
ruined healthcare. He really did.
We're seeing it right now. Like that's what the Democrats are fighting about right the second over the shutdown, because they're fighting where they're like if you are a Obamacare, like the affordable healthcare like participant, rates your healthcare rates are going through the roof. Like it's going to get crazy expensive for you to have healthcare with the Affordable Care Act, with the social
That's like when Obamacare came into
I'm sorry,
play.
your copay. Your copay is gonna be
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, when Obamacare came into play, it was like, all right, people, a lot of like middle class people who didn't get their health care through their jobs or whatever, which is a lot of people.
Yeah.
Um,
Shit ton of people.
they were paying like $150, $120 per month. And then Obamacare came into play, and he was like, oh yeah, you could stay with your, private
Yeah, if you're done.
insurance. Yeah, you keep your doctor and whatnot. It's not going to change much. We're just going to give, if you have Obamacare, like there's certain requirements and you'll get it. And this isn't going to change the regular health insurance, the private health insurance at all.
Mm.
And then when Obamacare was dropped, when it was put into place, it was basically like, oh, well, if you want private insurance, you're required to have this aspect of it, this part of it, this part of it, this part of it, and now your $120 a month bill is going to be $350 a month.
Yeah.
And that's for the majority of the middle class.
Yeah, it made
It literally ruined healthcare. Yeah, it made it so much more expensive for the average person. Meanwhile, again, another welfare style type of thing. Oh, here's money. Here's money. You can have it. When people say healthcare is a right, is a human right. That's kind of ridiculous, because getting treated is a human right. Having to pay less because you have insurance is not a human right. Let's be realistic here.
Yeah.
If I'm an illegal citizen, or I'm like, we shouldn't be, not even just illegals, like we shouldn't have these systems that hurt the average person just to help the super poor.
Well, let me just interrupt you for a second, because like Obamacare kind of fucked some people up. I agree, like it was not handled very well and not thought out very well, because the problem is that Obamacare is like is it's basically like the healthcare companies are subsidized by the government, right? Like we're almost at a year since the Luigi Mangione shooting.
Mm-hmm.
United Healthcare, Blue Cross, Blue Shield, all this other crap, like it's all subsidized by the government. Like the government gives these healthcare companies money, and they also give the hospitals money. And when Obamacare showed up, right, it's giving all these people, these individuals, like this cheaper quote unquote option. But if you didn't go into the cheaper option, you opted out of Obamacare, then you're taxed again.
Yeah.
Because the healthcare companies have to pay into Obamacare as well. I might be getting this completely wrong, but like I don't know anything. Healthcare is really super complicated, and it's kind of why after all this time, like thinking about it and stuff like that, and I'm like, it really should just be completely taken care of by the government. That's how I honestly feel about it. I'm like, it makes no sense, right? Like, it makes no sense that we have all these issues with healthcare for like the middle class, right? Because it's basically, again, it comes down to the same thing. Like, it comes down to the middle class. Like, poor people, they don't care. They're not paying. They're not going to pay.
Yeah,
Rich
they're not
people,
gonna
they don't
pay.
care. It doesn't. They'll see. They have all, because they're rich. They have all the access they want to, right? And if it was a socialized system, right, they would still have all the access they want to. They want plastic surgery. They want to, they want to tighten their shit up. Like, they're gonna go see whatever doctor they want to because they're rich. They have the money. They're gonna just give the doctor. They're gonna see the doctor right away because they have money. And the doctor's always going to work for money,
Dude,
like everyone else.
I'd say the biggest issue, I wouldn't say that the government should fully just take care of everything. I'd say the biggest issue is the fact that the middle class loses when it comes to health insurance, when it comes to
Well,
healthcare
under
in
this,
general.
you're missing under the system, right?
Well, under this system right now, yeah.
Like,
And I don't, but the thing was before Obamacare, it wasn't like that. Before Obamacare, the average middle class citizen could get health insurance for like $120 a month. And it was good health insurance. But now, after Obamacare, the middle class citizen, because of the requirements that were implemented to get health insurance, the standard raised so much higher. And basically, they did that so that they could afford Obamacare, pretty much. Um, like I feel like people should have a choice in what healthcare they choose, which is why I don't think it should be fully government run. I do think the government has a sort of obligation to make sure that people have some sort of fair uh, health insurance, which is why I think it's important that they're involved with it. But my biggest issue is just the fact that the middle class gets screwed over every time. Because obviously, like you were saying, so the poor people don't care because they don't pay for it,
Yeah.
or they pay very little. Then the rich don't care because they're rich.
they don't care.
So what we really need, I feel like, is just like, like what I was saying before. I probably didn't word it the best. Health insurance is not a human right. Health care should be a human right in general. If you're an illegal immigrant and you get really fucked up somehow, you get really hurt, like the hospitals should and will, as of right now, by the way, they will take care of you. How much money you pay has nothing to do with human
If
rights.
you're an illegal immigrant and you get really fucked up, the likelihood of you paying anything is probably like
No,
close
it's
to
very little.
zero.
It's very little.
And
I could say from experience, I had a back injury.
Yeah.
And I did not have health insurance at the time, and I made very little money at the time. And my hospital bill was like $15,000. And I applied for the help, the monetary help that they could give me, and I didn't pay anything. They didn't charge me a cent at
That's
the
the
end of
problem.
it.
And then who
And
gave you
it's
the money?
like,
Government, right?
well, it's not even, it's just that they took my bill and like cut it in like very little because now they could take that bill, the original bill, and say, well, we only got $50, $100
They can
of
mark
the
it. They can
original
mark
bill,
it
and
up
they
to a
can
loss
yeah, and they can
on
mark it
their
as a loss.
taxes. Yeah.
That's the exact whole
Well,
thing.
that's again.
Now,
Yeah.
see, like that's a good thing for poor people, for poor immigrants, poor illegals, or whatever. That's like a good thing. It makes sense. But the issue is that anybody could do it if they just don't have health insurance, and
Mm.
they like you just don't have to make like more than you don't have to claim that you make more than like $40,000 a year, and you could get like free help with that. And it's like they're not on top of it enough, so I'm sure there's plenty of fraud involved with it. And the issue is that like again, you got all these middle class people, these people that don't realistically make that much money. Like they're struggling in a lot of ways, especially families and whatnot.
Yeah.
And they're paying these high premiums, like 350, 400, five hundred
This.
dollars a month.
Yeah.
And then you got people who make almost the same amount of money and they just don't do that and then they don't pay. That's like the biggest issue. The biggest issue is that like we need to not give money to people who are like illegals and people who are like making the same amount of money as other middle class people, but they claim that they're poor and they just don't pay for health insurance. We need to stop giving them much better benefits than the people that make the same amount of money and pay every month this high premium. That's the big issue that I have.
Yeah.
And Obamacare is like a big reason as to why that became such a big issue.
Well, yeah,
Before
because
Obamacare, the average health insurance for like a middle class person was like $120 a month.
yeah, but that's also like almost 10 years ago now. So like, what the genie can't go back in the bottle. Basically, like what they're going to charge these healthcare companies. Prices don't.
Well,
go
yeah,
down
it's like
that.
they could in a sense, but they never would.
That's my point.
Yeah, yeah.
So like that's
again goes against human nature. They're like, oh well, if I could get all this money now, why wouldn't I? What am I going to help people?
Yeah, I was gonna say they
It's
don't.
ridiculous.
They're not gonna.
That's just how it is.
You're not gonna one day wake up and eggs are gonna be $1 again. Oh, they're only $1 a carton.
Yeah.
No, they're gonna be $4 for the rest of our lives. If not $6 in the next 2 years. Again. They were $6 like a year or two ago, something like that, and now they're to $5.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, but it's like
If prices go down, it's like a long process. People
yeah,
think the economy is going to fix itself like that.
but healthcare is one of those things where they can like every insurance company is the biggest scam in the world. All right, that's the problem I always have with it. Where I'm like,
Yeah.
every insurance company, like if all of a sudden you're say it was a different version of this problem, right? Say if it was homeowners insurance or car insurance, right? Say if car insurance was a giant epidemic in America, everyone's just smashing into each other all the time, and there's all these car accidents all the time, and like people are like, I just can't afford car insurance. And someone came out with like the government car insurance that everyone can sign up for. Car insurance wouldn't really, the private companies wouldn't be like, all right, great. And so now the government's helping out. Now we can lower. They would never do that. They would never just lower prices. These are for-profit companies, right? And when you have this rigmarole, this is where this is again. I used to think like this, where I'm like, well, this is a company and they're providing. Yeah, it's all good and all, right? But the problem is that when you have the government so entrenched, right? There's Medicare, Medicaid, all right. There's all these benefits for uh people that are like, you know, bums that can't pay their bills. You go to the hospital. Your name is my name is Jimmy Smith. I can't pay my bill, and they just can't do anything. They have to treat you. All right, you have some kind of
Yeah.
wound. They have to treat you by the Hippocratic Oath. They treat you, and then they end up just asking the government for the money back anyway on their tax return. Right, so it's so
Yeah.
entrenched in the system already, and that's where I'm like, the government should just handle it full boat anyway. They should just they should just not like necessarily maybe take over the hospitals, but I'm like they should be subsidizing the whole process at this point because they're so far. It's like you're so deep into it. They must be like 65, 70% deep into the process where they're basically taking care of all this shit, right? And Obamacare's not a good system, but at this point you're kind of like sitting there. You're like, okay, and in certain like Japan is the best example. Japan, they have like the baseline healthcare for all citizens, for everyone,
Yeah.
right? But if you're uber rich, this is where my idea of like, yeah, if you're uber rich, you can get like special health insurance, right? You can pay extra.
I was gonna say something like that where I feel like the government should cover like the basic necessity
Yeah.
of like relatively cheap healthcare. Uh,
Well, I mean, in this country,
but
yeah,
well, let me say, like, I think that there should be a basic necessity of healthcare that should be somewhat covered under like a cheap premium through the government, and then you
well,
could
I think
go
that was the
out and you
original
could
idea
get.
of Obamacare. That was the original idea of Obamacare, where it's like you're trying to get like the cheap version, where it's like the government's gonna help
Yeah,
out.
but the issue with Obamacare is the fact that you have to be under these certain rules, these certain things to actually get Obamacare. You can't if you make $60,000 a year, you can't get Obamacare
And you get
because
paid.
you make too much money. But now, but what they did was they basically said, "All right, well, you make $60,000 a year. That's like not that much money
Yeah,
today, right?
yeah,
That wasn't even that much money years ago."
yeah,
And they made it so that where it's like, all right, well, you make too much money to get the cheap healthcare, the
right,
Obamacare.
right.
Oh, and your health insurance is going up hundreds of dollars a month now because of Obamacare.
Yeah, it's insane.
That's the issue. That's the actual issue. I think, and I feel like you were kind of going on to say this, where it's like, I think the government should cover the basic necessities of basically, like, in a sense, a crappy healthcare system. Not like
Right.
that we want it to be crappy, but it's just like doesn't cover all things that aren't necessary. It only covers necessary things, and it's cheap. And then you could
Yeah.
go out and pay more money for private healthcare. Or maybe you could even choose through the government to pay more money to get better healthcare and whatnot.
Right.
But it's just that's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. I promise you.
But
It's literally never gonna
that's
happen.
the problem. That's like my whole point where I'm like, fuck it. Like it's so complex. It's so complex. You have to jump through so many hoops to like see someone, right? And like the amount of like horrible stories that we hear in this country where like say like your father or your mother gets like cancer or something like that, and your whole family goes bankrupt because they have cancer. You
Yeah.
know, and it's like a completely like one of these diseases where you're like, oh man, it's like like, is that really the kind of like if America's about freedom, right? That's what I was thinking about. If America's about freedom, right, and you're sitting there with like a horrible pancreatic cancer, like God forbid, and you're sitting there, becoming bankrupt and dying, and you're leaving your family with nothing. Is that really like a free society at that point, where it's like the government's just like shrugging their shoulders, like, yeah, well, every bum in the country gets free healthcare, and every old person gets free healthcare, but you only worked for, I don't know, 30 years, you can't get free healthcare. Like, that's my point where I'm
You
like,
know, it is a tough conversation and
yeah,
tough thing to work out just because it's like realistically too, as terrible as that is, and like you're super right, families shouldn't be going bankrupt because one of them has some sort of cancer or disease in general. But it's like if the government paid for all of that kind of stuff and paid for a lot of people's health care at the rate that it's at now, at like what it is now, the debt and the inflation is just gonna go up so much.
I mean, dude, like,
It's just
at
gonna
this point,
skyrocket.
when I think about, like, again, we're giving money to those healthcare companies already. It's not like the government's like, oh, we're just letting the healthcare companies go full profit. All right. We give how many billions? I mean, we gave 40. The last week, remember we talked about Argentina. Argentina got 40 billion. They were originally supposed to get 22 billion, but they got 40 billion instead to go
Yeah.
against their own farmers.
Yeah.
The amount of money we mentioned Israel, the amount of money Israel gets, the amount of money all of Western Europe gets, all the amount of money corporate subsidies get, so that Microsoft, Amazon,
Well,
Walmart,
that's why I
Target
said in the
are
state that we're
all.
in right now.
Hold on, let me just finish. All these corporate subsidies are for the stockholder and for the CEOs and all the executive partners to become profitable themselves, right? So you want to say, oh, the national debt and all this other, it's like, dude, that's what's contributing to the national debt, is all the corporate
No, I
subsidies
completely agree.
floating
I
floating these
completely
companies
agree.
along quarter by quarter, year by year, and you're like, yeah, like, it's not that, again, we don't really, again, I'm a true,
No,
like,
no.
I'm a true believer in, like, not really a true believer in, like, libertarianism, but I'm like, capitalism's a good system, but we hardly have capitalism. Me and you start a small business, we get no subsidy. But
Yeah,
if you're
no.
Target or Amazon or
No,
Walmart,
listen.
you get your own
I
subsidy.
completely agree with you on all of that. That's why I said in the state that we're in right now, it wouldn't work because then all that's going to happen is inflation's going to go up more. If we did live in this perfect form of capitalism in this perfect world with the perfect government, then yeah, we're not going to be giving billions of dollars to Israel. We're not going to be giving billions of dollars to Argentina. We're going to be America first, which is how things should be, but it's not. And I feel like healthcare isn't the way to start because like we already pay for healthcare. These healthcare companies get a bunch of money from us and whatnot, and the government gets a bunch of money from us through healthcare too. And it's like it's just like a blip of what the government spends on like so many other stupid things. And it's like we need to tackle those things to actually take care of this too. Like if we want
Yeah.
money for healthcare where it's like cheap for everybody in the country, no matter who you are, then we have to stop doing what you were just saying. We have to stop all these like foreign affairs and whatnot. We have to stop,
But I mean, like,
and we
yeah.
have to combat, the fact that the 1% has like such a large percentage of the entire money. Like there's so many different factors that we have to actually combat. Like I completely agree with you. It's just that in the state that we're in right now, like we just can't do that. We literally can't because then things are just gonna get worse for everybody.
How about this? At least if we do that, right? That's one less bill the middle class has to worry about.
Which is great. No, I like that.
That's what I'm
I like
saying.
that. But then how does that make the other bills go up?
I don't know. You're right.
That
I'm not
that's
really
what I'm
sure.
saying. That's
I'm
what I'm
not really
saying.
sure. Like,
See, in a great world, in a great country where we're not giving billions of dollars to all these other countries, we're not helping all these other countries because we're like that we're the country that helps other countries.
no shit.
America is the country that helps other
We just
countries
got
with our
done voting
money.
in the quote unquote America First president, and the only thing he's done, he's coming up on a year. The only thing he's done is Israel, Ukraine, Argentina, now Venezuela.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only thing I've seen.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
That's the only thing I've
If
seen.
we if
I've
we
not seen
had
one America First policy this
if we
entire
had an
fucking time.
actual America First president, which we haven't in so many years.
I
You
mean,
could try to
probably.
make you could try to make your arguments for so many different presidents, but I promise you that they did not give they could have done so much more for America than they actually did.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, real Americans, not
Yeah.
corporate America.
Yeah, not corporate America, not not bum welfare America. Real Americans that actually work, that want to start families, that want to actually progress in society and make things better. Real America, we haven't had a president since like I don't know, JFK.
Yeah, I mean, even he was cut down before he could really do
And he
anything.
was cut down before he could do anything. That's why they did it to him.
Yeah,
But
I mean, probably realistically, like FDR, maybe.
maybe,
He was,
maybe,
and that was a horrific crisis. Almost kind of the crisis, not really the crisis, but kind of. I was watching. I like Bill Maher. I think I told you this. Like
yeah,
I like Bill. I fuck with Bill Maher, and he had a guy on there where he wrote this book where he was like he was writing about the 1929 stock market crash, where it was like a similar kind of. He was basically comparing it to today, which is scary because that'd be horrible. Trust me, it'd be very
yeah,
bad.
yeah,
Um, but it's really similar where it was like, yeah, we had like this Republican president who like won because he like made all these promises to, like farmers and stuff like that. Hoover.
yeah.
Um uh and then we had RCA, which was like the big radio company.
AI.
Big radio company where it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
everyone's so excited about radio and telecommunications and like, yeah, like we can get all this information kind of like swirling around, like, and everyone's gonna have a radio in their house and like the whole world's changing because, you could be a farmer out in Wichita, Kansas, and you could be getting the same news that you would get in New York City. All this like kind of like modernizing stuff that we take for granted nowadays. But he's like basically making the same thing where it was a giant bubble of like RCA was like the Nvidia of today, where
Mhm.
he was like, yeah,
Yeah,
like the bubble popped and the stock market went to like nothing. And this is before all the protections. This is before the Fed, the Federal Reserve Bank. This is before like Social Security. This is before HUD and all this stuff that was beforehand. And then
yeah,
the stock market went into the toilet, and that's when FDR had to step in and kind of create all these like work programs, and they kind of worked. And then World War II happened. That's what really got us out of it.
yeah,
But
yeah,
uh, but yeah, it's like, that's probably the last president where I can think of where it's like, yeah, it was so desperate. I mean, it's the Great Depression. We were so desperate as
yeah.
a country that you know, he had no choice. And that's why people elected him 4 times because they just loved him. They were just like, this guy is like, he's helping us. He's helping. And like that's the only person I can really kind of think of where I'm like, yeah, like he wasn't like constantly focused on foreign policy, right? Because that consumes so much of the presidency now. Is like this like.
Well, I will say we never really have been. We never will be as bad as Venezuela is with their socialist
Yeah,
government. I need to use the bathroom, so
for
why don't you entertain the people watching? How many people we got watching?
well, I got myself watching.
That's a whole lot.
It's a whole lot. But you know what? We'll make it all back in the clips. Don't you worry, buddy.
Clips. We live in
Don't
the
don't you
clip
worry,
nation,
buddy.
baby.
So now I'm going to talk about what I'm really interested in. Fuck politics. I don't care. I don't care about politics because you know why? Because I care about the real shit. The real shit. And I'm going to tell you what the real shit is. Warner Brothers, movies, film, right? My true passion. Warner Brothers is now up for sale. Right. I did not see this yet, but Paul Thomas Anderson's movie, One Battle After Another, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, has lost them $100 million reportedly. $100 million down the tubes for Warner Brothers, and that means that the whole studio. I mean, that's it. Like they're up for sale. Warner Brothers Discovery, HBO, the whole kit and caboodle is up for sale. And the thing that now intersects us with politics a little bit is that Larry Ellison's son, I think the guy's name is David Ellison, right? This guy was the richest man in the world for like a little bit, like a brief bit, his father. The guy who created Oracle, he's interested in buying Warner Brothers, right? He obviously has the money, multi-billionaire. Um, this is scary, all right? Because already, at least in my opinion, we already live in a world where movies, for the most part, are pretty hollow. Um, it's not like a lot of original things are really tried out like they were. Uh, and this is just like kind of scary to me. I'm like, like MGM, for instance, was bought by Amazon. And what happens with these movie studios is they kind of get just put in the back pocket of these giant tech companies, and we just kind of get more and more mediocre films as a result. We just kind of get crappier, excuse me, crappier and crappier movies. It's kind of like, all right, that's fine, but it's just not good. I don't think that a movie house or a movie studio as old as Warner Brothers going up for sale is a good sign that original content, original films are coming down the pipe. Because I don't think that's really happening. And it's really sad that someone like Paul Thomas Anderson, who's an amazing filmmaker, uh, his movie is literally losing that much money for the studio. I mean, like Paul Thomas Anderson and Leonardo DiCaprio are like two giant names in Hollywood, and now that's what's lost this s- giant I mean, not really giant, or I'm sorry, not really super independent, but this very independent studio that's was around for 100 years is now up for sale. I was just basically telling him that them, no one,
All of them.
all of them, all of myself watching it from my phone. But Warner Brothers is up for sale now. I know you don't really care. You're like, I don't give a shit.
No, it's more. You mean to tell me the Jews are about to make a giant sale?
No, no, no. Well,
What a surprise! What a surprise! We
Warner,
we
Warner,
don't have to get
yeah.
into it like
Well,
that,
not like that, but it's
but
like
so tell me
I was
about
just
it. Tell
saying,
me
I
about
was
it.
saying, so I was just saying that. Did you hear about that movie One Battle After Another? It's called. I think that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio's got like the big glasses on, like the beanie. Like maybe you saw like a meme about it or something like that, or like
Nothing comes to mind, but what
that's
about
okay.
it?
No, it's a Paul Thomas Anderson movie. He's like a kind of famous director. To like film buffs and whatnot. He made like Boogie Nights, and you don't really watch movies, so it doesn't matter. Uh, but anyway, the movie is starring Leonardo DiCaprio, right? And like it's an original movie. It's not like a superhero film or a franchise of some kind or like a remake. But it's an original film by like a hardcore kind of director, and it lost the studio $100 million. Right, and it was just on my mind recently. I was like, damn, they fucked up. Like and that basically kind of triggered the sale. Like the initial being like, hey guys, we're for sale. It's over. We lost 100 million on this one movie, and it's over. I don't know what else to tell you. Um, but yeah, it just kind of sucks. And the first person that I saw that was interested in it was, who Larry Ellison is, right?
Yeah.
Larry Ellison's son is like, yeah, I'm kind of interested in buying that. I'm like, oh god.
Hmm.
I'm like, great. And I was just basically explaining. I was like, it's just like another.
Isn't Larry Ellison a Jew?
Yeah.
I contain myself.
Go ahead.
Gonna contain myself. No, contain myself.
But
What
uh,
is
but yeah, it's like one of those things where you're just like, damn, you know, like I'm just in my head. I'm like, damn, that really sucks. Like because Larry Ellison was similar to Amazon's purchase of MGM, right? They're just gonna buy it and like put it in their back pocket,
Mhm.
kind of like have a studio like as a tech company and just be like, yeah, we just have this now, like whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And it just makes me sad. I'm like, damn, like an original movie like that. I'm sad it didn't make up more money. I know it doesn't really matter. That's just the market, baby. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, like, be real. You watch so much content.
yeah. I was
There's
showing you
not
like the
there's not
Peacemaker
that much
movie. Yeah.
original stuff that
No.
comes out that's really great from these big companies like Warner Brothers anymore. They have an agenda that they push, and
Yeah.
they have the creativity level has gone down, and the agenda pushing has gone up. And you know,
Well, there's somewhat more to that.
it's like yeah, no, like that's a very simple way to put it for sure. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying that like it used to be so much more of an art than it is now, and now it's so much less of an art and so
Yeah.
much more of a cash grab kind of throw in whatever famous actor I could put because people want to watch them and that'll make me funny. So much of I just want to say this in my movie versus creating something that's actually beautiful, and
Right.
I'm not saying that's all of like filmmaking, but I'm saying with these big companies, that's such a big part of it. Like, there's so
Yeah.
many good films that I'm sure out there that are being created, being put out, that are not getting the recognition they really should. I wouldn't be surprised if actually you probably showed me some too, where it's like, yeah, like this movie is super little.
Yeah.
Grab me one too.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you. Where it's actually the art that it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know, like you always say too, it's like directing, filmmaking is an art form.
Of course.
And it's like, you know, we yeah, it sucks so like art is so fucked right now. Art has made like the true freedom of the world.
Mhm.
Art was the true freedom of the world to be able to create something and make something that is beautiful, that is sentimental, that tells a story, so
Yeah.
many different things. And then now it's like, you know, we have AI make our art. You know, what's up with that? I thought AI was supposed to like
Yeah.
work in Amazon and fucking pack and ship the shit for us.
Oh, you hear about Amazon? Speaking of Amazon, they now want to like start buying like 60K robots to like start replacing like everything. Also, Facebook fired I think like 70% of their AI staff on Meta.
70% of their AI staff.
Yeah,
Oh,
like the
like
people
the
working.
yeah. See, like, you know, that those things were supposed to be good things. I don't have to work in the warehouse anymore.
It's a shit
Now
job.
I could go and make art, and my art can make money, but art doesn't make money anymore. You know what I mean?
No one cares.
Like, why aren't we making like we can't make the art because we need to make money, and the art doesn't make the money anymore.
Yeah.
And now it's ridiculous. AI was supposed to take the shit jobs that people had to do and take
Right.
over so that these people could get the cool jobs that they actually want to do.
Right, like
And now that's basically impossible
Yeah.
because of our economy.
Well, because
And
right
that's
now,
because of like the world. That's not just like an American thing.
yeah,
I'm sure there's other countries where that works out really well and whatnot, and that's what they did.
yeah,
But that's it's the majority of the places. It's like they took the AI, and now I got like fat Walter White doing a handstand like farting like
yeah.
you know like
Because Elon even said like it came out recently. He made like a statement. I don't know if it was actually Elon, but it was like AI people. We're like, yeah, like AI is actually really bad at learning. That's what they see. What they said. Artificial intelligence is really bad at learning. It's really good at like taking a like all of like you understand. Like, you notice that the best AI is literally just all it does is imitate. Right.
Yep.
That's the best AI. Like it'll take like this is fucked up. It'll take like Martin Luther King and it'll make a speech of him or JFK
yeah
and it'll make a speech of him talking. And that's like the best thing because that's the best thing it knows how to do is imitate and like remake something. Like you said, it takes Walter White and he's like on the floor like farting. That's what it knows how to
oh
do.
yeah, it knows how to do that, and it knows how to basically repeat what we've already said. I've been
Right.
saying, you've heard me say this, you've
Right.
heard me say that AI doesn't scare me right now because AI is kind of dumb.
Mhm.
And you know I'm a big chess player, I'm a chess master. Chat GPT still can't play chess properly. It
Yeah.
still can't learn the rules of
Yeah.
chess.
Yeah.
And what's interesting too is, you know, we AI has been around way before people really like even understood
Mm.
AI.
Yeah.
And the number one example I like to use is the fact that there was always chess bots. The chess bots were chess AI.
Right.
You know, originally, you know, the strongest one was created to go against I'm blanking on the Russian chess player, the dude that was gonna run for president of Russian.
Boris Karloff?
No.
Who am I thinking of?
No, remember the guy, he got like
Oh.
arrested?
Oh yeah, that guy.
Uh,
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
Oh, I'm blanking on his name. This is bad too, 'cause he's like one of my favorites.
That video, remember that video is crazy.
Yeah, that's a crazy video. Don't they like take him off a bus or
They
whatever?
take him on a bus and arrest him.
But
He was trying to run against Putin.
I need to before I say this, I need to remember his name.
Yeah. Here, you go ahead and remember his name. I'm actually going to the bathroom as well.
Yeah, right back. Ugh. We're gonna get this here. Don't worry.
Actually, I'm believing you.
Gary Kasparov. So from my understanding, I could be wrong to an extent, but I know for a big fact that they created this powerful chess AI a long time ago to compete against Gary Kasparov, at the time the world's best chess player. And they made it because he had never lost. He had never lost the game. And they wanted to make this AI beat him. And the first time it failed, and then the second time it actually did beat him. But, which on a side note, like kind of sent him into a spiral. He started losing more games and whatnot. He started becoming more aggressive in the chess scene and everything. But people don't realize that this was a long time ago. I believe this was in the 90s. And like they had these very powerful, very strong AI bots doing specific things. And like that AI has become much more advanced than a human. The chess grandmasters now, the world best chess players, they don't really practice against the AI. They just kind of use it to like review games because it's so much better than them that there's almost no point in practicing against them because like the moves that they make a human would never make to this day. Since the beginning of it to this day, the human would like never make a lot of the moves that they make because they're thinking. A lot of people think, oh, chess players know like 20 moves ahead. They really don't. They know like 4 or 5 moves ahead. And the chess AI, again, I think it was made in the 90s. I'm basically just Gary Kasparov.
Oh, Gary Kasparov.
That's who it was. And I believe in the 90s, if not the 90s, the early 2000s, they made this chess AI machine to try to beat Gary Kasparov because he had never lost a game. No human could beat him. And they make it, and the first time it fails, Gary actually beats the AI bot. And then the second time it beats him, and again, this was so early on. This was in like the 90s.
Right.
This is AI. This is AI. This is a powerful. This AI computer, this chess computer,
This is in the 90s, you're saying?
in the 90s,
Wow.
is still better than any human to ever exist at chess.
I mean, that's crazy.
And so people don't realize that AI has been around for so long. But the issue is that I was saying to them before too that like so first of all, there's no point in humans using the AI to like play against for practice because it's so much better than us.
Right.
That like they make inhuman moves. Like if you're in a match against another human, that other human probably isn't playing what the computer's gonna play.
Right.
Because it's not human.
Right.
Which is a good example as to why we shouldn't be as afraid of it. And then on top of that, you look at like the strongest AI bots now, like ChatGPT, or maybe even Grok, I don't know.
Right.
They can't even learn the rules of chess because they're not like a chess specific AI bot.
Well, I think these bots, these like
scary.
These like large language model like bots that we're kind of like thing is like they're not really like they're just kind of a glorified Google, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like it's just a crazy like
and they do a lot of stuff wrong. I don't think you use
Oh, yeah.
Twitter.
No, I don't.
So Grok is big on Twitter.
Yeah.
You can just ask Grok a question on Twitter by going at Grok. And
Isn't
then
that
ask it a
Elon Musk?
question.
Isn't that Elon Musk's AI? Yeah.
And there will be sometimes it'll be like a video and someone will be like, oh, like what's actually happening in this video? Like this
Right.
caption says this, what's really going on?
Right.
And let's say it's like a sports thing I'll use for example. It'll be like Steph Curry making 4 threes in a row. And someone will be like, oh, well, what's actually going on in this video? And Grok will be like, oh, Patrick Mahomes is doing this. And people will be like, this is basketball. They'll be like, this isn't Patrick Mahomes. This is Stephen Curry. Well, now don't get me wrong, it's super useful and it is right a lot of the time.
Right.
But sometimes there's moments like that. It's like, how much can we trust this, first of all, on how
Yeah.
correct it is? And two, it's like, why are we like the scary part of AI, in my opinion, is what Palantir does. Because
Oh, yeah.
Palantir
They want to
everyone's data.
Yeah.
And then they also use it for military weaponry. And it's like the military weaponry is actually scary. Because now like look at Israel and Gaza. I mean, we give Israel drones that'll like go up to you and like, I don't know, slit your throat immediately based
Right.
off of the fact that the AI could scan that you're a Palestinian or some shit. You know what I mean? That's what's actually scary. And the fact that it's giant databases just to track every person. They could track, your blood pressure, your heart rate, if you're wearing a certain type of Apple Watch. I think we talked about this last stream.
Yeah.
But it's like the giant database and the military weaponization of AI is what's much more scary than like the deep fakes and stuff like that. Now, like deep faking is like, in my opinion, kind of wrong if you're not using it in like a meme way. It's like, oh, LeBron is I don't know, kissing fucking Donald Trump. Michael Jordan and LeBron are smooching.
Yeah.
Like who
Yeah,
cares,
Kamala,
bro?
Kamala
Who
and
cares,
Trump are on
bro?
like a date in like the
The only person that's gonna think that's real is like your 90-year-old grandmother, and that's because she's already got dementia. Like,
Did you see like the AI dog with like the Coke cans? And it's like foot that I sent to the group chat. And it's like boomers who are like praying for the dog. Like the
oh,
dog.
dude, I didn't
So
I didn't
funny.
see that. There's so many AI videos on Twitter that get posted, and Twitter's bad with it.
Yeah.
Dude, the people that because there's so many more older people on Twitter, I guess, than there is
Yeah,
Instagram.
my dad's on Twitter.
Or like they
just
use like the
yeah.
reels and like the videos and watch and whatnot. There's so many people that'll comment on these obviously AI
No, it's
videos,
so
and they're
crazy.
like, "Oh, like it'll be like a good thing. It'll be like a cat like saving a baby from a bear attack."
It's so
And
crazy.
it's like there's like boomers and just like people in general commenting like, "This is amazing. This is why cats are the best and whatnot."
Oh, it's
And
it's,
it's
it's
like
unbelievable.
this is AI. This isn't real, guys. Like this isn't.
It's unreal how bad boomers are gonna get like cooked by
Oh
AI.
yeah.
And you're
Yeah.
just and I mean, like my mom was straight up like convinced. She's like, "Did you see this?" I was like, "What is it?" And she sent me a video of like cruise ship with like an obvious like it was a tsunami, like a cruise ship, and then a tsunami comes up, engulfs the cruise ship like immediately. You know how like they do like water in AI where it's like instantly, it's like they go
Yeah.
instantly go in the water, like submerged into the water. And she's like, I can't believe like this happened. I was like, this is so fake.
This didn't happen.
This didn't happen at all. She's like, that wasn't real. I was like,
I remember a
"No."
few years ago, maybe two, there was like a video going around of like a seal with a dog head.
Oh yeah.
And like people were like sending it to their grandmothers, and all the grandmas were like, "I can't believe this new discovery!" And like,
You ever see the video of the grandma? She's like on the couch and like I guess her grandson's like playing GTA 5. And she
which
thinks it's
one? Oh,
she
yeah,
thinks it's
yeah,
real.
yeah.
She's like, oh my god. And it's like, he's playing as like Franklin. He's like,
Yeah, old people can't even understand that a video game that's not AI
yeah, it's so realistic.
is real or not. Like there's videos of people sending their
Yeah.
their grandparents a video of GTA, and the grandparents are like, "This is real. Like I can't believe this and all that." It's not AI. It's just video footage of
Yeah.
GTA. It's like people are so scared because of how realistic it gets and whatnot.
Yeah.
And it's like it's really just these super old people that
And just so are not
200 years from now when AI is like taken over or whatever, I promise you the old people still won't be able to tell, and the people that aren't extremely old will.
I mean, like there
And if
was
it gets to
yeah.
the point, let me say this too, if it gets to the point where AI becomes unid you can't identify it,
Mm.
then like no one's gonna believe anything anyway.
I mean, like I
So it
remember
destroys the purpose.
this is not AI, but I remember like when Red Dead Redemption 2 first came out, like in 2019, like I was playing it in like my living room, and my dad came down. He was like watching. He was like, "Are you watching a movie?" And it was like a cutscene. It was a cutscene. I'll give him that. We were like, I was like watching a cutscene with John Marston or I forget the character, yeah, Arthur, whatever the character's name is.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Are you watching a movie? Like, what movie is this?" I was like, "No, this is a video game." He's like, "What? Like, what do you mean?" So like, he was like, so like, I was like, "Yeah." And I was explaining to him like after I was like all finished with the game, like I was like, "This is like the," and I've watched a lot of westerns. I was like, "Dad, like these are like this is like all the best westerns you've ever seen in like one continuous." And you can do whatever you want. You can do anything you want, customize everything. But I think like to boomers, like to older people, they're just like so. It's such like a lapse for them. And again, like they obviously like they came into a world where they had like I don't think a lot of them read, but they did have books, they had movies, TV shows, music, all that kind of stuff, radio, all
Yeah.
that stuff, all that media for them to consume. And then like in addition to that, they're just kind of like, what? Like video games? What? AI? social
What's
media.
funny too is
Like to them, it's like it's too much.
this is the generation that taught, raised me and you
Mm.
and so many other people, you know. And what's crazy to me too is like we were raised that everything on the internet is fake.
Yeah.
And we were raised don't pay attention to what's on the internet. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in the real
It's
world.
literally flipped completely.
And yeah, now we're the ones that have to tell them everything on the internet is fake. And
Well, no, I was gonna say it's literally flipped in the sense of like everything on TV is fake,
well, that's also true.
and everything on the internet, like I trust, like me and you, I think both get our news right, like from real independent journalists, right? That are like YouTubers or streamers who are like, I am getting
Yeah,
my news from this person that's real, and our parents are watching CNN, Fox News, MSNBC,
yeah,
and
that's pretty true.
they're sitting there
That's pretty
and they're
true.
getting fake and they're getting corporate news,
Yeah,
which is fake, which has an agenda to push for stockholders or whoever for whatever reason they're pushing an agenda.
well, I think the reason that they're doing it is because, back in the 60s and the 70s, you were watching the news and like that's like the news was like that was the internet to us.
Of course,
Where it's like,
there's nothing
okay,
else.
this
There
is
was a
how
newspaper, and there was Walter Cronkite.
well there was the newspaper, but there was the news on the TV. It was like one of the few channels. And it's like the news back then was actual news.
Yeah.
For the most part, I'm sure there's still plenty of bias.
Mm.
Uh, but that was like their source to figure out what's going on. And then as things grew, as the internet grew, obviously the internet is such an easier way to get the news than it is to like flip to a channel, wait for a certain segment and whatnot. And because of the loss of viewership, what did these big news stations do? They're like, all right, well, what can I say that'll keep the person watching? Let me start being extreme now with my views and whatnot,
What?
or with what I
Yeah,
put out there.
kind
And
of.
that's
Yeah.
why tragedy is so popular in the news in
Oh yeah.
general, because it's like that's what keeps people watching. If I told you,
Well, you know.
yeah,
Yeah.
Sally down the street, the 12-year-old girl made $100 on her lemonade stand. It's like that's
Yeah,
a
it's
great thing. I love hearing that,
it's not news though.
but I'm not gonna flick on the TV and watch that and be
For
like,
an hour.
yeah, for an hour and be like, yeah, like, all right, now I'm learning about, yeah, oh, like, Timmy in Uzbekistan or whatever made $200, or
Uzbekistan.
his mom doesn't have
He might be
cancer anymore.
the richest man in Uzbekistan with $200. I don't give a fuck a
I,
Stan.
I don't know. I don't know much about Uzbekistan. That just came out, but
Listen, I don't give a shit a Stan. That's why.
yeah, though, no, for real though, for real though. It's like like the news has to rile the people up to the news on TV to get people to keep watching so they can keep making money. Meanwhile, you could have people online that are just like, yeah, this happened today. And then you could pick and choose what you want to look at for the most part. Obviously, there's, algorithm based things, but it's like there's nobody stopping you from Googling, going on Google, going on Twitter, going on Instagram, and finding, little kids doing well with lemonade stands and people getting really good news and stuff like that.
I mean, I don't think stopping you, but like bad news sells.
Yeah, no, bad news sells.
Like every single like like I'm always like watching videos on like the market, stock market, or like Bitcoin or something like that. And the number one, like these like finance people that their whole channel is just like reporting on the economy or something like that. They'll tell you straight up like, yeah, like when I put the red graph going down, like like oh it's going down, guys, sell now, or like fire. They put fire in the background,
Yeah.
like guys, it's over. That is the video that's clicked on the most that week. And they're not stupid. They're like they get it. They're like, yeah, like it's over. Like saying it's over with fire in the back of your video, that's gonna guarantee a click because like me or anyone else that has a lot of has money invested in something like Bitcoin or like any other speculative asset like the stock market is gonna be like, what's happening?
Yeah.
I need to know. Like, is it bad? Do I need to get out right now or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now on that topic, this is getting off topic, but this is something I did want to talk about today.
Sure.
Was the Counter-Strike 2 market has crashed dramatically.
This is horrible.
Now,
I'm not.
there's
I'm not. This is a market I'm not invested in straight up. So
so he's not invested. I am invested, and I do play the game, but this is actually kind of serious. It went down $2 billion. There are people who had their
that's
life
insane.
invested into this. Now, there's reports of people killing themselves over this. Almost like the Washington or the Wall Street crash. There's
Yeah.
reports of people actually killing themselves over this. Whether those are confirmed or not has not yet been done. You know, it's a lot of people on Twitter and stuff like that saying like, "Oh, I was in a Discord chat and this person killed themselves in the Discord chat." Like they literally killed themselves while talking about it and everything. But the market I think was only worth about 8 billion, went down 2 billion,
It's insane.
all because of an update to the game that made it much easier to get the majority of the high value items.
Mm.
I can tell you from experience, you know, my inventory was worth around as of uh, uh, before last night, pretty much. It was like $1,200.
Right.
Now it's like 700.
That's crazy.
So
So
basically,
almost half your value of your inventory just went
yes.
in the toilet.
So the way it works is that there's the skins through Dubai. There was gold skins. The gold skins you could only get through buying directly from other people or by gambling with like a case and getting super lucky. It's like one in every 390 cases has a knife. So or gloves. Those are the golds. The golds are knives and gloves. And what they end so that you could trade up in the game. So it's like because the skins are based off of let's say like a color system. Blues, purples, pinks, reds, and each color is like a higher level.
Hmm.
And if you had a bunch of pinks, you could upgrade to a red. And if you had a bunch of blues, you could upgrade to a purple, and purples to pinks, and so on and so forth.
Right.
But you can never upgrade to one of these gold items. That's what made them so rare.
It's the gold standard that we got away from back in 1973. Thank you, Richard Nixon.
Yeah, yeah. But they made it now so that you can trade up reds to a gold, and you only need 5.
Interesting.
So what ended up happening is when this came out, people started trading up their reds, and a lot of the red skins were only worth like $2, $3, $4, $5.
And they're getting gold skins from
And
that.
now they're getting gold skins, and the cheapest gold skin right before the update was like 100 and like $20.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, or well, for the knives, and then the gloves is like, you know, maybe $80, $90 was the cheapest one, like the worst one you could get out of the thousands you could get. And they've made it now so that yeah, you could when the update first came out, you could spend basically like $25 and end up with a $10,000 knife. And so what ended up happening is that the price of these $10,000 items got cut in half. And the price of these reds that you would trade up with skyrocketed. But the issue is that this caused a bunch of fear selling, you know, selling all my inventory because now the market's shit.
Yeah. I gotta get out.
So
I
I'm
gotta
gonna
get
sell
out.
everything for super cheap.
I gotta get out.
I gotta get out. I'm gonna sell everything for super cheap, and I'm just gonna be done with it. And
Yeah.
for the people that wanted these golds, who are like, "Oh, this is so worth it," they're
Right.
buying a bunch of these reds, and then these reds are now going up in price. Where now a $3 red is now $50.
Crazy.
So it's like the market will probably balance out, but because of all the fear selling and how unhappy people are with the update,
Can I ask
they
something
lost
real quick?
billions of dollars.
Can I?
Yeah, yeah.
Did people who were like probably big holders of like gold inventory items, like did they know the update was coming?
No, they don't mention that they're gonna change something before they change it.
Really?
Yeah. That's why I was saying there's people that were like killing themselves,
Wow.
supposedly. There's like huge content creators for Counter-Strike skin trading
Yeah.
that when it happened, they were like devastated.
Yeah.
There's one big one named Anomaly. He tweeted out saying how he's sure it'll get a little bit better, but it'll never be the same again. And
I mean,
there was
like,
all
yeah,
these like YouTubers and stuff posting pictures of their like $1 million inventory, and they're just like, it's ruined. It's
it's
not
over.
necessarily ruined. If you have $1 million worth of knives and gloves,
Right.
you still have 500 grand. But it matters because
That's still half your money, though.
how
Imagine.
much did you
Yeah.
spend to get there? You might
Yeah.
have spent 700,000 to get that million,
Exactly.
and now it's down. Now you're down 200 grand. You know what I'm saying?
If you'd have anybody's profile, or I'm sorry, portfolio,
Yeah,
they would be very upset.
exactly.
If the government came out, say if you're a big Bitcoin investor, or say you're a big uh OpenAI investor, and the government's like, yeah, fuck that shit, and like, they it wouldn't exactly happen as quick as like an update, but
Yeah,
if they spoke out against it and your profile went to half because you were all in on OpenAI or all in Bitcoin, you'd be like, what the fuck?
yeah,
And it's basically like if a government came out and was like, yeah, we're completely changing the game,
yeah,
essentially.
yeah. That's basically what happened, and we're talking about a multi-billion-dollar market. You know what I mean? It
It's
may not
crazy.
be as big as the stock market, but it's
I mean,
a
of course, but yeah,
multi-billion-dollar market. And
that's really
yeah, all
interesting.
these people, they lost so much money. I lost money. Basically, anybody that had a knife and gloves that wasn't the cheapest one already, that you lost money. Now, there was one guy I saw. So you could take your skin to like clean up your inventory and you could put them all in a crate. And he had a crate called Useless Red Skins. Um, he never sold them. You know, most people, they get a cheap red, they sell it, take the little bit of money, buy some
Right,
more cases or use it to upgrade to a better skin or whatever. This
right.
one guy had 609 red skins in a crate labeled useless red skins. So basically that means that all the skins were probably like maxing out at like $20. And there's a lot of reds that are more than $20.
Hmm.
Especially before this. The After the update and the price rise in the red skins, his crate was worth 4 million euro.
God damn, son.
So imagine like you're a skin collector and you have this crate of 609 like skins that you consider useless. It
You're just
said
like,
that.
yeah, whatever. I don't care. You're just
Yeah.
like a guy that's like every night you open a couple cases, like, right? Like, isn't that how
Or like,
you?
well, it's like, yeah, you're like doing a bunch of trade ups, you're collecting them and whatever, and you're like,
Okay.
oh, I'm just gonna hold on to them. You know, I bet you that crate was worth like a max of like 10 grand before this update.
Right.
A max of 10 grand.
And now it's worth 3 mil.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. Well, it's the same thing with like some stuff with like it's just really interesting because it's like at first when you were describing it to me, I was like, okay, this is kind of like, and again, this is not like to disparage the CS:GO or CS2 like skin market, but I was like, okay, this is kind of like NFTs where it's like
Yeah.
it was kind of
Yeah.
like up for a little bit where I was like, damn, this is kind of crazy. Like this is just a video game, but this is like an example of a video game where it's like, damn, like there are people with a million. I mean, again, CS2 is going to be around for a long time.
Yeah. It's been the number one video game for like a while now.
Of course, yeah, it's a crazy competitive shooter, like yada yada. It's got all the mechanics that it's gonna look just like CS:GO. It was around for what 12 years at least,
Yeah, I think I
longer
think
than
the
that.
first ever Counter-Strike to come out was like 1999.
Well, I'm saying like CS:GO itself,
Oh
like the
yeah,
CS:GO
CS:GO itself.
CS:GO
Yeah,
Global
yeah.
Offensive was around for at least 10 years.
Yeah.
Um, and CS2 only came out like 2 years ago, something like that.
About 2 years ago.
So I was like, yeah, like when you would describe the market to me again, I don't really play CS:GO or CS2. I really never have played CS2. But when you described it, I was like, okay, this is very interesting. We had people that we worked with uh before that were crazy all into it,
Yeah.
as we talked about. Um and I was like, okay, like yeah, like this is an example of a market where a video game market can get like crazy. It's almost like a micro economy.
Yeah.
A
That's
micro
exactly what it was. Yeah.
yeah, it's like a micro economy where it's like, yeah, like there's people that are trading and making crazy money, like individuals that are making crazy money on skins that people just want, or in like, millions of dollars where they just want to like buy and sell skins. And again, like the super famous YouTubers, yada yada, all this other stuff. And when you're describing the crash to me, they literally remind me of like the NFT stuff from like 2021, where I'm like, NFTs were huge. You had Mark Cuban talking about him. You had fucking that idiot Gary Vee talking about him. Like, yeah, NFTs. Yeah, this is the future, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna use my NFT to put. They were slapping it on Happy Dad. That's stupid ass shit.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm very happy I never bought an NFT because I always thought it smelled very fishy.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is really shitty. Because it's like, in my head with art, I always trust my gut. And I'm like, this is
Mhm.
really crappy art. Like, to be honest with you. And I remember talking to our friend Jake about it, and I was like, this is just crappy art, right? He's like, yeah, it sucks. Like, it's just not that good. Like, and it ended up. And it ended up being nothing. It ended up being nothing. All those Bored Apes, for the most part, they went down to zero. Went down to zero, and it's like it sucks for those people that are like buying it at the top and holding onto it to the bottom. But it's something similar to that, where it's like, yeah, you have a gold skin in CS:GO, and you hold on to it for a long time, hold on to it for a year, and a year later, it might be worth nothing. But similar to what you were just saying, it's almost like the crypto market, where in cryptocurrency, it could be like, yeah, I'm holding on to this like one asset for super long, and then all of a sudden it's like zero. But then another guy is hoarding another coin for, or like it could be a meme coin, a shit coin, whatever you want to call it. And then all of a sudden it's worth a shit ton of money, and he's like, "Holy shit! I had no idea." And this is again, I'm not trying to say it's N-word fart coin. All right, N-word fart coin
Yeah.
was one of those stupid coins where it got crazy high, like people were just buying it as a meme. Similar to maybe the guy who you were just talking about, where he had a bunch of red skins from CS2,
Mm-hmm.
and he's just like, yeah, whatever, I'll just hold on to them,
Yeah.
and they're making him a life-changing money, a millionaire. He's a millionaire,
Yeah. No,
and it's like,
100%.
you
And
know,
it's
yeah,
yeah, the Counter-Strike market is very interesting because like it is pretty much NFTs, but it's different because we're talking about a game that is
in
the
game,
most
yeah.
popular game in the entire world. See, NFTs were just literally files. Like it's a file.
You could put it as your
You
profile
know,
picture.
you could screenshot an NFT and use it in your profile. You could use it in Photoshop, do whatever you want with it.
Yeah,
But a skin in Counter-Strike, it's like if you don't have the skin, you can't use it.
exactly.
So there's that aspect to it. Is it the same sort of level as NFTs? Yeah. It's literally like pixels, you know.
I think it's a step above.
It's a well, yeah, no, I think it is too, but I'm saying where it's like, is it pixels on a screen and will it ever be more than that? Like it will never be more than that. It is pixels on a screen.
Yeah, I
But the
mean,
thing is it's a collector's item
you
for
could be
an
at the
extremely
bottom. You could be
popular
at the
game.
bottom of the leaderboard with the most expensive skin. And it's like,
Happens all the time. You
yeah,
can't tell I can't tell you how many matches I get into. Where it's like, yeah, this dude's got like a $20,000 inventory
yeah,
and he's fucking dog water. Like,
yeah. He
he's
has
just
he doesn't
ass,
yeah he
you
doesn't get
know?
any kills. He gets 0 and 5.
Yeah,
KD.
he's like
He
capped
sucks.
at like a silver rank, you know?
Yeah, he sucks.
Um,
But it's like but he still has a crazy skin, and no one can take that away from him because he's playing on his account, and it's a little bit more secure.
yeah.
It's a little, again. That's why I was
Yeah,
saying it's a
yeah,
step
yeah.
above, because it's like it's his account and he's playing on it every night. And he could be like, yeah, one game he could be at the bottom, but one game he could be at the top, and it's like, damn, he's leading the game, and he's got a 20K and he's got a 20K inventory, and people are like, holy shit, this guy's crazy. And then again, like the NFT is like again a step down because it's a picture and you're on Twitter, and like I could take it and put it on my Twitter, and it's like it's like if someone could just take your skin and put it on their gun. And it's like, yeah, they don't actually own it, but they're just like, but the game allows you to just change your skin to like whatever. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like I know that's like a really like dumb kind of old person way to think about it, but it's like that's the same kind of thought process where it's like, yeah, you own the NFT, right? And like no company in the world's gonna like ask that idiot who paid 30K for Bored Ape, like, listen, Amazon wants to use your Bored Ape. Will you license it to us?
Yeah.
It's never gonna happen. Like they don't
Yeah.
care. They don't give a shit. They're gonna pay some artist and $100 to do that.
Yeah. No,
It doesn't
100%.
matter.
100%.
Yeah.
You know, now there's some people theorizing why Counter-Strike made this update.
Right.
Some people are theorizing that, well, they did it because the market was so fucked already. A lot of pump and dumping going on in the market with certain skins.
Yeah.
Certain skins were so high of value that No one, there's people, so many people that would never be able to afford them in the first place. Excuse me.
Very good.
And is it still going?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay.
Don't worry. Yeah, keep going.
Um, and I personally don't think that. I think they did it because of how much money it just made them.
Mm,
Every time you sell a skin on Steam, Steam takes like 15% of it or something
right.
like that. And they probably made so much money off that. They probably knew people were going to be afraid to what's it called? People were going to be afraid of this and
Yeah.
sell all their shit. And they also know that it has a big enough fan base to where it'll come back. People are going to start buying stuff again. They're going to stop fear selling and they're just going to start buying stuff again. And sure, maybe knives and gloves will never be as high as they once were, but that doesn't matter to them because those $20,000 skins weren't selling that often. But now
No, of course not.
you have millions of $100 skins selling, and they're taking that percentage. That's what I think it was.
Well,
People
they
think,
don't really care. Like again, like yeah, they want to make the fast nickel, not the slow dime. You know.
yeah, and it's like it doesn't matter to them because it's like a fast nickel can be good or bad depending. Because if you make a fast nickel when you have the opportunity to make so much more than that, then it's like, why would you do the fast nickel? But what Counter Strike has is that they have the ability to make the fast nickel and then make another fast nickel and then make
Well,
another fast
I was gonna
nickel.
say like they probably what's crazy about this, which is like yeah, it's so perfect as like an example of a microeconomy. Like again, I don't think Gabe Newell has like really anything to do with these kind. He probably just is a multi-billionaire. He doesn't even give a
Gaben?
shit. Gabe Ben, yeah, Gabe Newell, Gabe Ben, Gabe Ben,
Yeah,
yeah. Um,
Gaben.
But like the developers, they probably have like crazy inventories, and they're just like, yeah, fuck it. Like we're gonna update soon. Just sell it. Sell all your best shit like right now. Just get rid of it. Just cash out, bro. Just cash out right now. Like
Oh yeah.
empty your shit. And that's literally what like that's the economy right there in a nutshell, baby. Like
I
that's
know, that's what I'm
insider
saying,
trading.
dude.
That's
I know.
insider
That's
trading.
why I
That's
wanted to bring this up.
yeah. It's perfect because it is
Yeah.
like they should literally teach that. If I was a college professor at a business school, I'd be like, guys right here. This is it. This is everything right here. This is how insider trading works. This is how if you're listen, if you're Scott Besson in the government, if you're the Treasury Secretary and you're working with Trump, who you've known for 20 years and all this other shit, and you're making sure that these certain deals happen. Argentina, 40 billion soybeans.
Yeah.
If you know, you know. All right. You make sure this shit happens and you're making a bunch of money, your boss is making a bunch of money, everyone's taken care of, right? And the regular people that are the CS:GO players, right? For example, that have those big expensive inventories, you're just like, I don't care. I'm profiting on their loss.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well,
I
it's
have
the
the
people
insider
that
information.
work with them that have the insider information, like
And
you
this has been the
said.
true
Yeah.
since like, this has been true since like the 80s or something like that. The movie I just watched the movie Wall Street with Charlie Sheen and Michael um Douglas.
Yeah.
Uh so the same exact thing. Michael Douglas is like the powerful boss. Charlie Sheen is the guy going out getting the insider information to try to trade in the stock market and stuff like that. Try to trade, trying to get any kind of leg up. If you have information in any kind of market, you have the advantage no matter what. Right? If you're the dev of CS2 and you have crazy inventory, you're like, fuck, I'm gonna sell all this shit right now.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. You know?
Yeah. Now, I would recommend to the people if you play Counter Strike and you're a big skins guy, you're a big trader, you should be buying right now. There is millions of people selling out of fear, which drives prices way down. These prices are going to come back up a good bit. I saw someone sell their M9 bayonet marble fade for $197. I bet you in like a month or two that knife's gonna be back up to like $800, maybe
Mm.
even 600. You're profiting hundreds of dollars no matter what. People are selling out of fear, and you should be buying right now if you're into that kind of stuff. You should be buying 100%. It's
Okay.
like if Bitcoin were to go down to like 40K or whatever for some reason right now, you shouldn't sell at 40K. If most of your Bitcoin you bought it was at 100K, you shouldn't be selling it at 40K. You should be buying more of it because it'll probably go back up. Historically, it goes back up. This is with stocks, crypto, and now the Counter-Strike market. You should be buying right now. The people are selling out of fear.
I agree. I mean, like, usually downturns make it good. I have no, and straight up, I'm, full discretion. I don't know anything about buying or selling skins. I have no idea. I never did it. But I know a little bit about investing, and when it's down, that's when you start buying. Because when it's up, that's when you start selling. Buy low, sell high, as they say. That's the trick. That's what they tell me, at least.
Yeah, and I mean it's pretty simple. Again, there's millions of people selling out of fear right now. So they're
Mhm.
selling at record low prices in years.
Right.
It's like, why wouldn't you buy now? This isn't going to last forever. The market's not just going to permanently crash. People aren't going to stop playing Counter-Strike. There's
No.
like the amount of people that are going to stop playing Counter-Strike because of this is so minuscule and so not important to the market itself. It's just that people are nervous that if they don't sell now, it's just going to keep going down and down and down. That's
Right.
that's why things are so low. You could buy a knife now for like $58.
Yeah.
You haven't been able to do that since like 2018. It's been so many years since you could do that. And it's like you think it's gonna stay that way? It's not gonna stay that way. Use your head.
This is where millionaires are made, guys. This is where millionaires are made, all right? When you buy the knife skin when it's low. And I'm not saying buy one, I'm saying buy 5. I'm saying buy 10.
Buy 20 of them,
Buy
man.
20. Buy 30. All right, think about your children when you're buying those knife skins. Right? They're going to inherit that knife skin at a certain price, and they're going to be able to borrow against that knife skin and go to college.
Think of the Chinese pump and dumpers that have been. This is a real thing in the counter.
I know. I have no idea. I'm kind of low key. I'm low key like joshing where I'm like yeah, like because I'm thinking I'm literally thinking of it as like a micro kind where I'm like okay, like
well, literally,
what else?
Just
What else?
Think of it as stocks. Think of it as stocks
Right.
or crypto.
Yeah.
There is so many Chinese pump and dumps that happen in the skins community. Think of this as a massive Chinese pump and dump, just with a bunch of different skins. They're selling all of them right now, so because they're selling them, they're going down and down and down. You think they're not going to come back up? Maybe knives and gloves will never get to the height that they were once at because they're so much easier to get now. But they're still going to go up from now. They're still going to go up from what they are right now.
This is true.
The Reds might not go back down to like $2-3 each. But they're gonna come down a little bit. Because there was a whole there wasn't just fear selling. There was also in the moment buying of I need to get this right now so that it's worth it, which skyrocketed the price of the Reds.
Right.
And it's like so don't buy Reds that are based off of trade ups right now. Buying knives and gloves is a good idea. It's 100% a good idea because everything is the lowest that it's been in many years. So it's like just buy. Just buy and don't worry about it too much. Don't kill yourself over it.
Yeah, buy and
maybe in the long term,
buy it and forget about it.
If you have $200,000 worth of knives and gloves, you probably will lose some money in the long term. But it's not the end of your life. It's okay. Don't kill yourself over it.
Yeah, definitely.
It'll come back up a little bit. And then there's other ways to continue on with the market the same as you were when you made that $200,000. It's just not in the exact way that you did do it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely don't do any self-harm to yourself over investments, Things go up and down. I mean, hey, if it goes down or if you need the money right now, then I would say if you got like a crazy profile or a crazy inventory on CS2, I would say sell and then take that money and do what you got to do. But right now would be a good buying opportunity, as you're saying. Again, I have no idea what I'm talking about at all. I never played CS2. I don't know anything about. I've literally been hearing about this for years, though. Like no joke, from you and some other people. Like the skin, the kind of the crazy skin trading community and whatnot. And
Yeah.
it's like I'm really fascinated by it because again, I think it's a really great example of like again, I'm like straight up serious where I'm like they should teach this in business school where it's like this is a microeconomy. This is a microeconomy where it's like you will have like crazy major players like YouTube like CS2 YouTubers who are like have crazy skins.
Yeah, and
Or
it's
they
like
have
if you
crazy
take away the
inventories.
gambling aspect of it, where it's like, oh, I'm gonna open cases and hope to hit something for a whole bunch of money.
Well, trust me, there's the real gambling aspect in the real world as well.
Yeah, no,
There
there
is.
100% is, but I'm saying if you take away the gambling aspect of the Counter-Strike market, it's just another market.
Yeah.
It's just another market. It's gonna have its ups and downs. And as long as the game is the number one in the world, or like even in the top 10, the market's gonna be valuable and it's gonna be worth investing into. So,
Yeah, do it. Do that shit, bro. Do it. And then when get a couple headshots of the team, bro. If you use the case. I think we're gonna probably wrap it up though.
Yeah, TBH. It's about time.
You know?
Great stream.
I think so too. We'll have plenty more to talk about next week.
Yeah, there's plenty to talk
There'll
about.
probably be some kind of other invasion or bombing or
Yeah, something else with politics, something else with like, stupid shit.
next week is
You know,
Halloween.
Hassan, something we didn't talk about, the guy with the dog and the shotgun. I didn't read very much about this at all,
Right.
but it's like maybe we'll talk about this next time. Apparently, he admitted that it is a shot collar, but he was just like, "Oh, but like, who cares?" I don't know. I saw like a 5-second clip on it, but
Who cares if I'm shocking my dog to death? I don't care.
who cares if I'm striking
I mean-
it down just so it doesn't move? Am I so bad for not wanting this living creature to move because I told it not to?
I mean, that's just sociopathic behavior, in my opinion. If you abuse any kind of animal, you're kind of a freak sociopath.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, but yeah,
Yeah.
we'll have plenty to talk about. So,
But anyway, good night. God
Thank
bless,
you.
guys. We'll see you. Oh, cheers.
Cheers.